The next speaker is Lars Tveen, who represents Project Zero, who he will tell more about. He also belongs to the owning fund behind the company Danfoss, which is a big company in this area, as you may know. So I'm over to you for more.
Thanks a lot, Hans-Peter. And thanks a lot, Brian, because I think what you just told is if the world knew what the world knows, try to imagine how fast we could move with all what we are talking about here. That's amazing. And and personally, I'm a little bit surprised it's not going faster. But I'm probably less surprised now being part of the IEA conference for a couple of days, because here it's very clear now. I think we were 25 Minister of Energy gathered. And I must say, it was unbelievable how much we brought up exactly about energy efficiency, district energy, sector integration, because we need to understand the whole energy transformation is huge. And that means we simply need to do exactly what you were talking about before, Brian. And what is also clear, we don't need to develop something new and wait for that 10 more years. It's already here. And that has actually been one of our main points, and that is actually also the reason that IEA, they selected to come here to Denmark, because they came to Denmark because, as they have said, you have probably also participated in a lot of COP meetings and a lot of other meetings where we are talking a lot, where we are discussing a lot, but at the end of the day, what is really important is that we seeing is believing, that we walk the talk. And that is also why we this morning have been together with the ministers all over the area here. And I just came back from a brick. They are producing bricks 10 kilometers away here. And you can say, what has brick manufacturing to do with all what we are saying here? They are the world's most greenest brick producers. And again, typically when we talk to heavy industry, they say, it's too difficult, we don't want to start, we need to do something else. What we have seen here, and they were heavily surprised, I know some of you know, say they have done a lot to the energy efficiency part. They redesigned, put 3 holes in the brick, simply to get 20% less energy to dry the bricks, and they are now giving the surplus energy into the district heating. And what they are saying, yes, green architects want green bricks, but what is even more important, green does not necessarily mean it's very expensive if we start with what you just talked about, Brian. And I think that's what Project Zero is all about here in Denmark, here in Sønderborg. And I would say it's not only Sønderborg, it's whole Denmark. And I think we should start do much more here, because what we are trying and what we should do is actually, we have a recipe for how we are doing. As you just explained, we have 55% district heating in Denmark, which is a key component for the future energy system. And that is actually what we have talked about here also over the last couple of days, where we have said what we are saying here, whatever we do, energy efficiency first. And you say that's logic, because it's very often those with the lowest payback times. But it's not logic because it's difficult. It's difficult. You cannot get your hands around it. And that is why I can say what we have done here is actually that, because I think what is in Sønderborg, we made that promise as said in 2029, we are CO2 neutral. At the moment, we are 52% down since 2007. So we have followed our plans to the point until now. We are still missing the difficult part. But I think the main point here is, if we do that in sectors, if industry is, if Danfoss is saying we do it all alone, if utilities are saying we do it all alone, if housing associations are saying we're doing it all alone, house owners, etc., banks for that sake, if we do it in silos, we will never ever get what Brian just talked about. So what we have been doing here is that we have gathered 100 people from the city council, from the big industries, Danfoss, Linak, a lot of other industries, smaller SMVs, the 3 utility companies, housing association, we've all been together, even banks, because also if we want to go to electric cars, maybe also there need to be some benefit for those doing it. But what is interesting is actually that, and I think that's where we can say we have a common goal, and that's where I think the trick. We are not having a goal in each silo. No, we have a goal for the municipality of Sonderborg. And that's why we have achieved those 52%. And that's and we are not here to set up on a pedestal, say, oh, how great we are. No, we're here to say we can do that in all cities in Denmark, all cities in Europe, all cities in the whole world. And that's what we are trying to do in a super, super simple way. And that is actually why we have created those cases here. Because sometimes, I can also say, I've been working for Danfoss many years. I also see we have a few here. And saying, we are so nerdy. We love to explain how difficult it is and how technical it is. And the decision makers of tomorrow's, that's not those having those technical skills. So we need to understand, if we want people to understand that, we need pixie books or very easy understandable cases where we can say, okay, let's do that. And all the technical part, let somebody else do that, because that's not needed to make the decisions, because you're talking to people who has done it before. And I think the best example is actually what we have been doing at the headquarters of Danfoss. We have 250,000 square meters headquartered a little bit north of here. In 2007, we started to focus, actually when Project Zero started, we started focusing to see if we could do more. And we actually achieved, we reduced the heating demand by 70%, 70% from 7 until today. And then a lot of people are saying also, if Danfoss wouldn't do it, who would then do it? But we can say all those initiatives we have done, 0 of those have had a payback time longer than 3 years. So we are talking about interest rates here of 30% or more. It's very hard to find that somewhere. And the good part with energy efficiency, it's not down the drain. It's building up year after year after year. So that was the first part. The second part were exactly what Brian was talking about. We have also now connected to the data center we have up there. But I think the most important part were we have a district heating network just outside our factory. And they were building a new heating plant. They had problems with the peak power for the 20 cold day when it's cold. And they were in there to see how they should ensure that capacity. When we started to discuss with them and said, we actually have an 18 megawatt boiler we could fuel with biogas at Danfoss. Why are we not, those 20 days where it's cold, you buy heat from us. The remaining part of the days, we buy heat from you. Again, payback time less than 3 years. And I think that's what this is all about, also the whole Project Zero, because we fully complete, and we work very close together with Brian and all his people also from Aalborg. So I think we know where the North Star actually is. We know where we want to go, but we need to get people up running. We need to make people move. And we see that the best example is simply make it very super simple, the first steps, and then let's work together. Let's inspire each other, because that's the main thing. Because sometimes, and that's why I'm always saying, if the world knew what the world knows, because how many industrial parks do we have like Danfoss? We have them all over the globe. Could we do the same as we did for Danfoss? We could do that all over the globe. So, but again, why are we not doing it? Because we don't know how to do it. And that's where we should start. And that is actually also why I think what we are talking about here, both the district heating, the sector coupling, and exactly as you're saying, do we disagree with heat pumps? Of course we need heat pumps. But let's also ensure that we are putting them in the right place in the energy system as far back as possible. So I think that is also where we are. And I think the main learnings to finish is actually what we have learned. We need local ambitions. We have now taken the municipality of Sonderborg. We need local stakeholders. We need local energy systems. And if we have that, then we can start moving. We can start working with the experts. We can start work, but we have 100 people who want the same, and they are all in the same boat. It's all about team sport. And if that's the case, yes, then we can move it. So With that, thanks a lot for time.